We are tonight's entertainment.
What the fuck is this, Chet?
This is a tasty burger.
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Is this your homework, Larry?
Welcome back
to
the Film Scoop. No longer the spooky scoop. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
everything good has to end eventually.
Yep. We're moving on to bigger and better things.
Bigger and better things. The scoop will return next year.
Might become the festive scoop in maybe another
Oh,
month.
maybe it'll become the thanks scoop. And then it'll become the Christmas scoop.
Yeah. Be tough to find like
Scoopmas. I don't know. We'll think of something.
Scoopmas is sick.
Oh, you're not going to make fun of my
No,
idea this
Scoopmas
time?
is fucking awesome.
You're not going to make me hang myself by my name ideas?
Not this time. You were bringing gold to the table this time.
All right, Scoopmas.
I like that.
Maybe we'll do that. But we're back. Had a pretty good week. No big release to talk about because we live in buttfuck and we can't see the killer yet. So
That's awesome.
all my friends are out here running around seeing the killer. Cock's hanging out. I'm just sitting here fucking with my dick in my hand.
Yep.
Can't watch it.
Nothing to do.
Nothing to do. So
We did get Anatomy of a Fall though.
We did, which we will talk about.
Yeah. I kind of figured we would get the killer before something like Anatomy of a Fall, but whatever.
Yeah. We might just have to drive to the Alamo to see the killer because I need to see that in theaters.
Yeah.
I will
People
not
sneaking
watch a David Fincher killer movie at home for the first time.
Yeah, no,
I refuse.
People crawling through the aisles trying to give me a cheeseburger isn't going to stop me from enjoying the killer.
No, never. We'll just get in the one of the first couple rows, so all those idiots ordering fucking milkshakes won't disturb us. Well, there'll be less of them.
Yeah.
You know, if you're sitting in the back, you got 20 straight rows of tubbies
Movement,
ordering
yeah.
food, waiters coming in and out of aisles. If you sit towards the front, it's only a row or two in front of you. So,
Yeah.
hopefully we can do that. But
Like I said that I'm still probably going to order a cheeseburger
yeah,
and
probably,
cookies.
yeah, probably still will. But it's only a problem when they do it.
I'm
It's
gonna get
okay
there
for
and be
us to do it.
Oh my God. I'm the fat ass. It's going to be like a fucking twist.
Yeah. Yeah, so couple things to go over before we get into our watch list. By the way, we're doing a Martyrs spoiler discussion this episode, but we're going to put it at the end. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to get anything spoiled for you, you can just click off and it'll be the last thing. So we'll do that last, but couple things. I beat Arkham Asylum.
What'd you think?
For the new scoopers out there, I'm a big Batman fan.
Yeah. I'll say.
If you don't know. So it's kind of an anomaly that I've never played through the Arkham series. And I've played like up until now, I've played like here and there. Like I played a couple hours of Asylum and gave up.
Yeah.
I think my time spent on Arkham Knight is like 10 hours.
Yeah, you're familiar with like the world.
I completely skipped City. I never have played Arkham City ever. But I remember I wanted to start at the beginning like years ago, so I started Asylum. Thought it was boring and I stopped. And then I just jumped like straight to Night because I looked at the visuals on YouTube and they looked really cool. And I liked how you could fly around the city and stuff. So I've put in a decent amount of time into Night, but I'm going to like start from scratch, start a new game. Play it the right way. So I beat Asylum, and I get why people at the time really loved it. And I could imagine if I was like 9 years old and that came out, it'd probably be the coolest thing I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
But playing it now, I don't love the story. Because to me, the story's basically just Joker sets up these like plans and these schemes at Arkham Asylum for Batman.
Yeah.
And he just basically sends a bunch of people at him. like, oh, fight Bane, and oh, fight Killer Croc, and it just kind of gets old after a while, and you're also stuck in the same spot. You're also stuck on Arkham Island, so it doesn't have that open world feel that the 2 sequels have. And the combat's a little, like, it's good combat, but once you play City, you realize how much better it is than Asylum.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to go back. But yeah, it's not a long game, so it's like, it's fine. But
yeah, you see, like, playing Asylum, you see the groundwork being laid for, like, games like that. Like, there's a lot of people that have taken the Arkham formula and, like Spider-Man's very similar to the Arkham formula.
Yeah,
especially with, like, the combat. So I think it's it really fucking blew me away when I first played it. Again, going back and playing it now, it's like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah,
because it's a whole lot smaller, it's a whole lot tighter. The story isn't the best, but the story ramps up big time in City, and the scale increases. The combat's better. I think City might have a more interesting story than Night, but Night kind of gets pretty emotional. So,
yeah, my favorite thing about Asylum was the Scarecrow stuff.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part. I like the missions you go on where you have to stay out of his gaze. That's pretty fucking sick. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, I enjoyed it enough, but I don't really see myself wanting to replay it. But Arkham City, on the other hand, I've only played, I think, like 2 hours of City, and I really like it.
It's got such a strong start.
It's like the second it started, like 10 minutes in, I was like, this is better.
Yeah.
Instantly, this is better. Like the combat, the visuals, the snowy landscape of Gotham and Arkham Island, and like it just looks so much better. The combat's so much better. The story is so much more like engaging too. Because one of the first like inciting incidents of this game is Joker puts his poisoned blood into Batman. He like knocks him unconscious, puts his poisoned blood into Batman, and says like, now you have to find a cure, because Joker wants a cure so he can survive. And he's like, now you have to find one too.
Yeah, it's your problem now.
Yeah, now it's your problem too. And I put it in 100 people at this hospital, so now you can't pull your holy like, I don't care if I die thing, because now there's other people counting on you. So
yeah,
that's a good example of Joker really knowing who Batman is and what makes him tick. And like, just infecting Batman probably wouldn't have done anything. He probably would have been like, okay, I'll die. Yeah. Like, it's not a big deal. But when you infect 100 innocent people at a hospital, Batman's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Suck my dick. I'm going to go find this kid.
I have to.
Yeah,
I'm going to MacGyver the shit out of this. Yeah,
so now it's like, he has to go find a cure, and he's like, Joker's like, you got to go get it from Mr. Freeze. And then Penguin ends up having Freeze. And then you got to beat Penguin to get to Freeze. And then you get to Freeze, and then he's like, you got to find Ra's al Ghul. And so it's like this big puzzle to solve. But yeah, it's fun. I like it. I had to kind of force myself to get on Asylum and play it. Like, I didn't really want to. I just did it because I needed to so I could finish it.
Yeah.
I actually want to get on Arkham City and play it.
It's
like,
so
I enjoy
fun.
playing it.
The environment they've built is fun to be in.
Yeah.
Both in City and in Night. It's a lot of fun to just, like, even if you're not doing missions, just, like, driving around.
Yeah.
Or gliding around Gotham. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the Catwoman stuff is really cool, too. I don't know where it really goes yet because I'm really early in the game, but her combat's really cool. And the way she traverses is really cool, too.
Yeah.
I like that. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I just played the mission where you have to fight Solomon Grundy.
Yep.
That was cool. I had to look up a YouTube tutorial. Didn't know how to beat it. Don't worry about it.
I could have helped you out.
You were in your room.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to disturb you. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. We watched the new episode of Invincible. Don't have too much to say about it because it's just episode 1 and it's pretty standard stuff like that you would expect, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Mark moving on and trying to deal with the event that ended season 1. I don't really want to spoil anything if people haven't been watching it, but
one of the best season finales fucking ever.
Yeah, so it did nothing really like blew me away, nothing really pissed me off. It was just like it was happy to be back watching Invincible, but nothing noteworthy really to say about it.
Yeah.
But I think episode 4 is probably going to be crazy because that's when the season split happens, and they're probably going to leave you on something nuts.
Oh yeah, I mean the events being set in place, you can already see like the scale of this. I think is going to be pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah. So, new episode comes out Friday, so excited for that. I've been rewatching Daredevil. That's been happening.
Of course.
I watched a YouTube like edit of Daredevil called Daredevil: The Man Without Fear, and
I've seen that one.
it just made me want to rewatch it.
I've seen that one. It's so fucking awesome.
Yeah. I want to get to season 3 again so I can see the climax. Because holy fuck, that gets me hard. That gets me hard. That's some top notch television right there.
Yeah.
The finale of season 3, but like the first 2 episodes of Daredevil season 1 are just, dude, the first episode ends, if you guys forgot, the first episode of Daredevil in the whole show ends with him on a rooftop looking down because he's blind, so he doesn't have to look around. He's looking down and he's listening to the city, and he's trying to hear like some crimes that he can go fucking take care of. And he hears a little kid scream and then pulls down his mask over his eyes, and then it cuts to black.
Oh my god.
As he's perched on top of a rooftop. Like, that's big cock shit.
Yeah.
So, I love Daredevil. It's one of my favorite shows.
There's nothing cooler than a blind character that's beating ass. Mm-hmm. Like, you get it anywhere you go. You get it with, like, fucking Kane from John Wick 4. You get Daredevil. You got, like, Kenshi from Mortal Kombat. But when you're beating the shit out of somebody, you're not even looking at them. Mm-hmm. That's fucking cold, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Some cold-blooded shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on like, episode 3. Slowly working at it, but, yeah. Been having a good time with that.
Hell yeah.
The Fall Guy trailer came out.
Fall Guy looks like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for Fall Guy.
Yeah. I doubt it's going to be the best thing in the world. I doubt I'm going to give it a 5-star, but it just looks like it's going to be fun.
I think they did a good job marketing it. It really set the tone. You know what you're like going to get. Unless, I mean, it could like completely be the opposite and blow me away. Mm-hmm. But I think they're pretty true to like what you're going to get in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think that's good.
And I'm glad it looks like we're getting a movie where Ryan Gosling is like the sole lead, because his last 2 movies, The Gray Man and Barbie, have been where he's sort of like taking a back seat. The Gray Man's more of like a 50-50 split, but Barbie, he takes a back seat in terms of screen time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're getting like a Ryan-centric movie where he is the whole movie pretty much.
Yeah.
With like Emily Blunt mixed in. But it looks fun. I like David Leitch. I thought Bullet Train was a lot of fun. So the action looks cool. And it's the closest thing I may ever get to a Nice Guys sequel.
Yep.
With Ryan Gosling just being in situations that are bigger than what he's capable of performing.
Yeah.
Like him not knowing what to do. And it gives me like Holland March vibes when I watch The Fall Guy. Like if Holland March was a stuntman that got sent on a mission. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
There's nothing better in this world than Ryan Gosling being a goofball.
Nope, nothing.
Ryan Gosling being a goofball is fucking peak anything.
Yep. He's one of the funniest people on the planet.
He's
so good at acting that no one gives him his props as a comedian. But just watch his interviews. Like his interviews are hilarious. So, I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be fun.
Hell yeah.
And then we watched the new Planet of the Apes trailer.
that is going to be
quite
really
the surprise.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think that's going to be really cool. There's so many ways, so many places that they can kind of take the movie because of how like conclusive the Reeves movies were. It's really open. They've got new characters, this cool world that they can now explore based on how Reeves ended his stuff. So, and the environment looks awesome.
Yeah. At first, I was a little disappointed when I heard they were making a new Planet of the Apes, because I just feel like the new trilogy was perfect, and I didn't want anything to ruin it.
Yeah, that was my first reaction too.
But I think what they're doing is the right way to do it, which is, it seems like it's not a restart of the world. It's not like a reboot. It's a continuation of that Reeves world, but just with new characters and down the road a little bit. So hopefully you can get some like references maybe to the Reeves films and to Caesar, but it's not like about. It seems like it's not about like Caesar's son, or if they just brought back Caesar and made another movie like that. Oh, this one's a prequel, and it's like it seems like they're doing it the most respectful and like the right way to go about it, because you don't just also want to start from scratch and say like, yeah, this isn't a part of the Reeves universe. This is like a new thing. You don't really want to do that either. So the visuals look cool too. We don't really have any idea about the story yet. It's kind of just like a teaser that shows you some cool visuals and gives you a feel. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, as long as they don't catch the Star Wars virus and be like, well, Caesar's here the whole time, and
somehow
like,
Caesar has returned.
Bring back Koba, bring back Caesar, and then they just fucking, and then they'll be like, well, this one's gonna be different, and then we'll bring back Caesar and Koba again.
Yeah, don't do any of that shit. Don't bring back any original characters.
Star Wars they're up to what, 9 movies, and they're still telling the same fucking story.
Dude, don't even fucking get me started
They're
on
still
Star Wars.
Still
we were
Skywalkers,
just talking about Star
still
Wars the other
Vaders,
day.
still fucking bullshit.
Dude, talk about a mismanaged franchise.
Yeah,
Holy fuck. That is putrid. How, like, 2 modern trilogies, since we're talking about it, 2 modern trilogies, right? Who would have thought that a new Star Wars trilogy with like great visual effects and everything, the new updated technology, a new Star Wars trilogy can't even be a tenth of as good as a Planet of the Apes trilogy?
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Planet of the Apes. This has like a good. I mean, I'm sure the older classic ones are good too in their own right and ahead of their time, but that should not be the case. Like, Star Wars is one of the biggest properties in the world. Everyone comes in their pants about Star Wars. A new Star Wars trilogy should be kick-ass. And man, is it not. Is it?
Boy, is it stinky.
Yeah. But the Planet of the Apes trilogy, it's just, you just get people who know what they're doing, who know how to make movies, and it'll kind of take care of itself.
Yeah. I guess they did kind of like. No, I was gonna try and like give Star Wars a little bit of leeway, because the Planet of the Apes trilogy redid the trilogy, like it redid like Planet of the Apes, like from the start. But also, I just don't care. It sucked. The Star Wars sucks.
But Star Wars doesn't need to redo anything. They just need to start.
They just need to tell a new story. Yeah.
Just stop with the Skywalker shit. Just stop it. No one gives a fuck about that anymore.
And now you've created, you have a character as legendary as Luke Skywalker, and people know him as the guy that drinks blue milk and is a fucking coward.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude, even Mark Hamill's been outspoken about how, like, sitting next to Rian Johnson at, like, Comic-Con events, he would say, like, I don't understand why we're acting like Luke would act like this. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I'll do it because I'm an actor and I'm not a writer, and I'll do my job, but it like he hated how they portrayed Luke in the sequels.
It's fucking garbage, dude. It's absolute trash.
Yeah.
It's
they made him a bitch, and they made him, what is it? I haven't seen him in so long. What is it? He hates Jedis now or something, or he wants them to end.
No, he's
something
like scared of them.
He's scared of Jedis?
Yeah, because he was training Kylo, and Kylo like turned evil, so he's like, I can't train anyone now. I'm not good. And then Luke Skywalker, yeah.
King Penis back in the day.
The guy whose dad was evil that he didn't give up on after his dad killed kids and tons of his friends that he didn't give up on. Kylo Ren pulled some rocks down on a guy, and he was like, this is just too much.
This is too much. Yeah.
My dad cut my fucking hand off. But you throw a rock at a guy, fucking hit the road.
Hit
pal.
the road. All right.
Get out of here, Jack.
You're a little too extreme here, Ben.
Yeah. Fuck that shit, dude. That's dog shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, they just need to. I'd be fine if I never saw another reference of Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader or Obi-Wan Kenobi in a movie ever again.
Me too.
Just leave the shit.
Darth
leave it
Vader
in the past.
is one of my favorite villains of all time. I don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah. The Rogue One scene is like, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good on that.
I've got every movie that he's been in.
I can just go to YouTube and watch that scene, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need it. So, yeah, fuck Star Wars. The Mandalorian was on the right track for a while, and then they caved in and they went back to old reliable, which is just Skywalker shit. So
they were on the right track, but they were running out of rope for me. Like, I liked season 1, I liked season 2, but season 3 couldn't have been more of the same. They had to go somewhere, and that's the problem. They didn't have the balls to do anything cool. So
you can go somewhere without just reverting back to fan service.
Not if you're Star Wars, apparently.
I guess not. I don't know how.
I think they're trying to do a Darth Maul thing now.
Ew.
They've killed him. This will be the second time they've killed him and brought him back. So they killed him once, brought him back through the animated shit, completed an entire story arc with him, killed him off again, and now they're gonna bring him back again.
Dude, they need to take a page out of the new Star Wars games, Fallen Order. Like, just do that. Just give us a new Jedi, a new character to follow, and people will like it.
Yeah, just stay away from anything in the timeline of Star Wars.
You don't need to be chained down by lore and by Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Like, this is right after Order 66. Like, yeah, so has everything else been.
Yeah,
do something now. It's done.
From what I hear, I don't watch a lot of Star Wars content, but the Star Wars fans I know, they're fed up with the whole fascination with Order 66 and how every show tries to tie it in and show Order 66 over and over again. And I think Dave Filoni is I think he's the one that's always bringing Order 66 into all of his projects, but who fucking knows? I don't watch that shit. Star Wars isn't really my jam.
It's not really your bag.
I like the originals, but the prequels I find really hard to get through. The sequels, I mean, I don't even need to say anything about the sequels. And I fell off of The Mandalorian, didn't really like that. Haven't watched Ahsoka, haven't watched Andor, which I think Andor would be good. Everyone says Andor's good. And it's grounded, and it feels like its own thing. So I'll watch Andor eventually. That's the one thing I watch. But
I'm definitely not rushing to watch it, though.
It's just, yeah, I mean, I'm not rushing to watch it. Maybe when season 2's coming out, I'll binge season 1. That's probably what I'll do. But yeah, Star Wars isn't really I don't get excited about Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, you didn't watch this, I don't think, but the Echo trailer dropped.
I didn't watch the Echo trailer, no.
I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but the Echo trailer is fucking awesome.
I didn't think they were crazy for that. Echo, I think, is a pretty neat character.
But it's Marvel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that she's Marvel. But she's tied to... yeah. I would have assumed it would have been bad.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm still getting adjusted to Daredevil now being a part of the Marvel machine. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Echo has something to do with Daredevil, Marvel, but different. But now it's not.
No.
Well, hopefully it is, but
no. These are the same people making the Marvels and Quantumania. So,
but it looks good.
I haven't. I'm not gonna shit on the Marvels. I haven't seen it. That's unfair. But they made Quantumania, so that's bad. Anyways,
Straight.
Yeah. But the Echo trailer is really fucking cool. The show's been rated TV mature.
That's good.
Which, holy fuck! Like I wasn't familiar with their game. Like I didn't know this was happening. They said that Daredevil Born Again would be mature. I'll believe it when I see it. But apparently Echo's rated TV mature, and you see in the trailer Kingpin beating the shit out of some guy and then blood dripping off of his fist.
Oh my god!
And that doesn't sound that crazy, but like for a trailer and for it to be like Marvel and Disney, like that's a huge step up.
Yeah.
Like blood is a no-go for Marvel pretty much. Yeah. And the trailer's edited really well because the show's Echo, and the like sound design of the trailer is like Kingpin will yell something and then it'll echo, like what he's saying will echo.
Oh.
And it just sounds really cool. It's a fucking hard dick trailer. Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
You have to watch it. So yeah, it's only 5 episodes, which I guess would be a bad thing to like for some people, because you want it to be a real show and not just like a limited series. But at this point, Marvel has shown that they can't handle like stretching out a story over 8 episodes or 10 episodes.
Yeah,
they're just not capable of it. So honestly, at this point, the shorter the better, because then maybe they'll have a chance at having some good pacing and
and
like,
less filler.
Less filler, yeah. So yeah, you should watch that because it's fucking baller.
Heck yeah.
And we'll get into our trivia before our watch list.
Okay.
I have 2 trivias. I have an easy one and a more difficult one. My easy one is who directed Brokeback Mountain?
Ang Lee.
Oh. Well, I said it was easy, but I didn't know you knew that like off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember it because it's also the guy that made the 2001 Hulk.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
That's
nuts.
No, so his career. No, Carl. His career from 2000 to 2005 was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Amazing.
Immediately makes Hulk, and then immediately after Hulk makes Brokeback Mountain.
Dude,
that's a crazy
what a roller
run
coaster
right there.
ride. He really had me going for a second. That guy's jacking me
lunatic.
around.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy career trajectory right there. Okay, my harder question is, which actor almost played Django instead of Jamie Foxx?
Ooh. Denzel?
No.
Fuck. I'm trying to think of who he would have cast. My first instinct is Sam Jackson, but it couldn't have been Sam Jackson because he's too old.
He's too old. I can't remember if this guy was actually cast and then they fired him, or if it was just like the discussions. They were just having discussions about the movie and then decided it wasn't right. I can't remember exactly.
Who is it?
It's Will Smith.
Ooh.
And the reason he wasn't Django was because he was trying to change the movie. He was trying to change Tarantino's story.
I do remember
That's
hearing about
crazy.
this now.
He was like, "Oh, it shouldn't be this bloody revenge movie. It should be like a love story."
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
He was like, "The fuck are you talking about, man?
Then everyone
That's my movie." Okay.
That's good. Then everyone can come in and fuck my wife in front of me at the end. And it's all about love. And she can say I'm an idiot on national television.
Dude, who does he think he is telling Quentin Tarantino to change his story?
Yeah.
Are you a maniac?
Yeah, I remember this now. I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah.
Are you a
It should
lunatic?
be about love.
Dude.
How about you fucking go home, dude?
How about you get out of here and go make After Earth, loser?
Oh my god. What a dork.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gosh.
That's like one of my favorite behind the scenes movie information of all time. Will Smith trying to tell Quentin Tarantino to change his writing.
That's what him drinking the coffee was like. That's what he did when he said it should be about love.
He was drinking coffee when Will Smith came into his office and told him to change it.
You try changing my movie, I'll be whooping your ass up and down the street.
What's going on here? Are you telling me how to write my movie? What's going on here?
You're saying it should be about love? But it's so much fun, Will.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like me showing up to like the Chiefs facility, like on a practice, and walking up to Patrick Mahomes and being like, "You should throw it like this." Yeah, like why the fuck would I tell him what to do? Like he's the master of this shit.
Pal, what I'm doing's working.
Yeah, yeah.
Good trivia.
Thanks.
All right, my first one is, what movies was Ryan Gosling nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor?
How many?
There's 2.
La La Land and Half Nelson.
Yeah. Got it.
You thought you were gonna stump me on Ryan Gosling trivia?
No.
Okay.
Because he hasn't won an Oscar. Isn't that just disgusting?
I think he won something. It wasn't an Oscar, but he won something because he gave a speech.
Yeah,
for
he's
La La
won.
Land.
He's won awards.
He won. I can't remember. What
Unless
it
it was his. Was it?
It's like a Critics' Choice Award or something. I don't know.
Did they actually go up and? I know they announced La La Land by mistake, and it was Moonlight, right?
Yeah, they called out La La Land for Best Picture. And
but I can't remember if they actually
Moonlight.
got up there and talked about it, or if they caught it like immediately after.
They
saying
caught
La La
it
Land.
pretty soon.
I got you.
I don't think any of them had given speeches.
Okay.
I could
It
be
must
wrong
have been
on that.
some other award.
I could be
but-
wrong on that.
Yeah, give my boy Ryan an Oscar.
He's gonna get it for The Fall Guy.
He needs fucking something.
What side conversation? What movie do you think he should have won Best Actor for? If you had to pick a movie.
The problem is I don't know what like his competition was.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Oh.
Just which do you think is his best performance that he should have won Best Actor for?
Going through his catalog in my head, I think Half Nelson is a good one. Mm-hmm. Also, First Man, I think was really.
I was about to say First Man.
Yeah.
I think that's a really underrated one.
Because you're like.
That's also sort of an Oscar bait movie, so it would have made sense for him to get nominated.
Because like him in anything where he's goofy, like he's being himself, and in First Man he's completely transforms himself. Mm-hmm. I think First Man's his like the most acting. Like he is kind of a quiet guy, but he's nowhere near as serious and stern as he is in First Man.
Yeah, and
it's one of those like there isn't the big blow up scene or big emotional scene. He's very quiet and stoic, and a lot of subtle acting that you have to master to be able to pull off something like that. So
I think
those two.
Best Actor, I'd probably give to either La La Land or Blue Valentine.
Oh my God, Blue Valentine's so good. He's so fucking.
He has to play like 2 different versions of himself in Blue Valentine, and that movie's sad.
Yeah.
It's a hard movie to watch, but
it is.
Yeah, he probably. I don't think he was. No, he wasn't nominated for that. So yeah, he should have been.
Yeah.
That's a great performance.
My next trivia is, what is the highest grossing comedy movie as of right now?
Highest grossing comedy movie. Is it newer? I'm assuming
Yes.
like 2000s.
Yeah, it's newer.
Pineapple Express.
No.
Does it have Jonah Hill in it?
No.
Does it have Will Ferrell in it?
No.
Is Seth Rogen involved in it?
He's not in it, no. It's very new.
Very new.
Yeah.
Like last 5 years?
Yes.
Holy shit. And it's like a straight comedy, no subgenre or anything.
Yes.
What the fuck?
It's very, very new.
It should be Game Night, but obviously it's not.
It should be. We're the few smart people in the world.
Holy fuck. What year? That'll help me a lot.
I can't remember if it was this year or last year. I think it was this year.
Are you sure that you're telling the truth and that this is the highest grossing comedy of all time?
It's what Google says. It was this year.
This year.
Yep.
Highest grossing comedy of all time.
Mm-hmm. That's what Google's telling me.
Carl, I think you need to get your information from a better source because
It's the first thing that pops up on Google.
I don't think this is true. What is it?
Barbie.
I mean,
Everything I'm seeing is Barbie.
I guess I just think of that more than just a comedy.
It's predominantly a comedy. I don't know what other genre I would say it's more of than comedy.
I don't know. I mean, it's a comedy. It's just not.
What'd you think I was going to say? Oppenheimer?
No, like, I mean, I guess that makes sense now because Barbie made a fucking billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll take your word for it. I wasn't thinking of something like Barbie. I was thinking like just, I don't know. I don't know why I don't consider Barbie just a straight comedy like I would something like Game Night.
Yeah, I mean, there's social
And there's
undertones
drama
about
towards the
Barbie.
end.
Yeah,
And
but
political
it's
commentary and
like,
all that stuff.
but even like Bottoms, which I think is a pretty straight comedy, has
I was
political-
thinking about stuff like Bottoms.
Yeah, but that's even got political commentary.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right. I just never really thought about it like that.
Yeah,
That it's
I was
the highest
trying.
grossing
I was
comedy.
trying to throw you a lifeline and be like, it was very, very, very new. I figured once I said like this year, you'd be like, oh,
Dude, that's when
fucking
it stumped me
Barbie.
because I was like, there was no high grossing comedy this year. Like I don't know what's happening.
I said, I
right now.
think you got your facts strong.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I guess comedies don't really do good,
Well,
or they don't
no,
put
not
up
really.
numbers.
Like they're not. They give you a good return on investment most of the time, but they don't normally go over $1 billion. That's pretty rare.
Barbie shows, again, it says gross. I don't know how far along it's released, but it's got over $1 billion.
Yeah.
So
That's
I can't imagine another comedy that put up numbers like that.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
For comedies. So the watch list. We watched Martyrs, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I, by my lonesome, watched V for Vendetta.
Ooh, what did you think about V for Vendetta?
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, dude.
It was a wreck.
That's my boy right there.
Yeah, so I had to watch it, and I was pretty excited to watch it because I've been wanting to watch it for a while now. It's based on a Alan Moore graphic novel.
Alan Moore fucks
hard. And yeah, I started it, and like it's really immersive instantly. You're instantly interested in what's going on. It's written by the Wachowskis, which I don't know if you even knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah. Which I guess writing is a little like, yeah, I guess you don't want to give them too much credit for writing it when it's just an adaptation of a graphic novel, but you still have to know what to keep in and what to keep out, and I'm sure they added stuff.
You
that
still
wasn't
got to
in there.
know, like, you got to have understanding of the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I need to be.
This is the
explaining to
important
people.
stuff. This is what isn't important.
This
You
should
got to
be the
make sure this
takeaway.
line's the same. We'll change this line, make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the writing, like, I thought was really good. I thought it was a really well written film.
Yeah.
The direction, I don't know if the Wachowskis were shadow directing it, but the direction was fucking awesome too, especially the action sequences.
Oh yeah.
The action sequence at the end, with like the knife fight
Yeah.
when they're all circled around him is crazy town. Like, it felt like it was directed by Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, there was so much visual style,
Yeah. I see that.
and that's fucking awesome. I love the performances by Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman.
I was gonna ask you if you knew who V was.
Oh yeah,
Fucking my boy Hugo.
my
dude.
boy. Yep.
What a beast.
Yeah, we love Hugo around these parts. Yeah, probably his best performance, if you ask me, especially considering he can't show any facial expressions. He has to give his whole performance just audibly.
Yeah.
And you know, they filmed with someone else playing V for 6 weeks and then recast him as with Hugo Weaving.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just said it. I think they just said it didn't feel right, like the Eric Stoltz thing. It was just it wasn't what they
Dude,
wanted.
it's hard. I think acting without being able to convey like facial expressions is probably one of the hardest things I can think of. It's all turns into all body language, and then like even your body language, he's wearing like a cloak half the time. So it's just the tone of your voice that you have to really use to convey what you're trying to get across, the tone you're trying to make.
So you have to like over enunciate to make people understand the emotion you're going through, but you also don't want to overdo it and make it sound like you're in a play and you're like over dramatizing it. So you have to find that fine line. And yeah, I loved the performances. I liked the sequence. I don't want to spoil anything, but like the prison sequence and what that ends up being.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. The score is awesome. I like what it represents. Do you know a lot of people when it came out, they were trying to cancel it because it was condoning terrorism. It's like, are you a fucking idiot? Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Like,
no. I remember I watched that entire movie and I was like, dude, that was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then like I watched it again and I saw the DC logo and I was like, what the fuck? I watched it a second time. Like got ready to watch it a second time and I was like, this is a fucking DC thing? And that's when I realized it was a comic book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool movie. I
Yeah.
gave it a 4-star.
I love the dystopian
1984-ish.
1984 is my shit. Anytime you got stuff like that, even Equilibrium like makes me come.
Yeah, and it's not even a good movie, but
It's not, but
I just
like,
enjoy it.
Yeah. So V for Vendetta, then like I don't know. That movie gets me going.
Yeah, and
if it condoned terrorism in the slightest, trust me, I'm the guy to shut it down. Terrorist, boo,
stinky.
but
V for Vendetta.
yeah, no,
Pretty good film.
Yeah, that movie's.
And
sick.
also, the government in V for Vendetta is basically like the Third Reich. It's basically a analogy for Hitler in Germany. So it's not like a one-for-one comparison with today and our government.
If that's terrorism, lock me up because I'd fucking do some shit.
I hate Hitler.
Yeah,
Come at me.
that guy. You know who else was just following orders?
Hitler. Hitler only had one ball. Nice guy's joke for all the lads out there. Got to throw one in every episode.
Oh yeah. So you watched V for Vendetta.
Yeah, that was quite the time. I gave it a 4, but I was close to a 4.5. I really enjoyed it.
Is that what you did while I was being cool out there?
You mean when you put on Kung Fu Panda 3 without me?
I did a couple things without you.
Yeah, you're a fucking bitch.
I can't wait around all day.
You keep saying that. You didn't even ask me.
Panda.
You didn't ask me.
I watched Kung Fu Panda. Immediately, I was like, I want to watch Kung Fu Panda 2. And I'm sorry that I have taste in movies, and I have to go and figure out what the next piece of the puzzle is. I have to figure that out.
You should have asked me.
It's the movie's fault. It did this to me. You're why I'm like this.
So basically I was gonna, go hang out with my good pal Carl and watch a movie. Guess what? He's in the middle of Kung Fu Panda 3, so I gotta buzz off to my room and put on my own movie. So I watched V for Vendetta, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I did the Kung Fu Panda 3-peat.
Yep. And then last night we were supposed to record, and Carl didn't get home till 8:30, so I put on Kung Fu Panda and fell asleep.
Heck yeah.
That's not a heck yeah.
That's
you fucked us. That's what that is. That's not a heck yeah.
I was under a house.
You chose to be under a house
Trying
on the
to
day
help
we're
out-
supposed to record.
Trying to help out my family. I thought it would go faster, but it wasn't.
Well, Alan wants an apology because he was expecting a scoop today, and now the scoop's going to be tomorrow.
Release it today. You still got time.
Well, he's not at work anymore. He listens to it at work.
Tell him to make some time in his free time to listen to the scoop. I would make time for Alan, so he should make time for me.
I mean, he will tomorrow at work, but the point is it's late because of you. And I fell asleep last night. I didn't eat dinner. Like I came back to my room and I was like, okay, I'll lay down for a little while until Carl gets here so we can record. I fucking fall asleep and Kung Fu Panda 2's on the TV and I missed half the movie.
I'm sorry.
And
I didn't know you
my
were eagerly
tongue is
awaiting
rumbling
my
because I didn't eat dinner. So then I get up and I make a Greek yogurt bowl and then I go back to bed and then I have to keep watching 10 minutes of Kung Fu Panda 2 today. Still didn't get to finish it. And now we're recording.
Yeah,
This is what you did. Look at the domino effect that you created.
I didn't realize you were eagerly awaiting my arrival here.
We said we were recording Monday,
Yeah,
so
but
I was ready to
figured
record.
Logan told you that I was having to help my sister get her fucking power back on.
I mean, she did, but she didn't say when you were going to be back.
Yeah, I was troubleshooting stuff. I apologize. I apologize to you and Alan for the tummy rumbles and for the delay in the scoop.
I accept your apology. I can't speak for Alan. He'll have to confirm or deny if he accepts the apology.
He's gonna have to look me in the eyes and he'll know.
Yeah.
How sorry I am.
Yeah. So then the next day I watched Kung Fu Panda. I gave it a 3.5. I think it's good, but I think it's like pretty. It may sound kind of stupid to say it about a kid's movie, but I think it's really just predictable and I don't know. I don't. It's not crazy to me. It's not like fucking Toy Story or any. A lot of kids grew up with Kung Fu Panda and it's like their shit, and they think all three of them are like amazing. And I think the first one's just like it's good. It's not anything wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you disagree?
No, that's a good rating for it. It's definitely not Toy Story or like Legend. It's like not like Incredibles or like legendary, movies like that. But it is a lot of fun. I told Logan I think the first one is better than basically all the Shreks except for 1 and 2. I think I like it more.
That's not saying much. It's better than all the Shreks except for the good ones.
Well, Shrek 4 is better than I think most people give it credit for.
Shrek 4.
That's the one with Rumpelstiltskin.
I know. I'm trying to think which one I like more. Because I just watched Shrek 4, so it's fresh on the dome.
Yeah.
I would probably say Kung Fu Panda over Shrek 4, but I think that one's pretty close. Shrek 3, go fuck yourself. Kung Fu Panda cleans house with Shrek 3.
Yeah.
But
Shrek 4 and Kung Fu Panda 1.
What close. About Puss in Boots: The Last Wish compared to the Kung Fu Pandas?
I think Last Wish is better than 1 for sure.
So is 1 the worst Kung Fu Panda?
I don't know. 3's 3's good, but I kind of have a weird. I feel weird about it. It's like there's elements that I really like, but then there's also stuff that I wasn't really thrilled with. I think 2 is my favorite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
How have you been enjoying 2 since you're kind of in it?
It's good. I don't really notice like a big quality difference. It just feels like more of the same.
Maybe I'm just more of a panda head than you. I was trying to come up with a cool name.
Yeah. No, maybe you are. Maybe Kung Fu Panda is just not really my jam.
Yeah, I also have a big soft spot for Jack Black.
I love Jack Black too. Yeah. He's the best part of those
Five Nights at
Freddy.
That video alone was going to be enough to make me watch Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And then everyone said it's a big gaping asshole.
It's Poopy Town. Yeah. I listened to a spoiler like full episode on like a podcast episode of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I already know everything that happens.
Nice.
I just didn't give a fuck about it. And people were saying it was bad. I was like, I don't want to waste my time, but I want to know what's going on here.
Yeah.
So I did that.
You want to know what else I watched?
Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3.
I did watch Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3, but I also watched Kubo and the Two Strings.
Watch that without me too.
I did.
Yep. My good pal.
Well, I don't even want to talk about it now because whatever I say, you're going to be like, yeah, I bet.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So you don't watch cool shit without me?
I thought, first of all, I didn't think you cared a ton about watching Kung Fu Panda with me. And then I was like, what's something else?
Kung Fu Panda, I'll give you a pass on. I would understand why you would feel like you could watch those on your own.
Yeah.
But Kubo, I think you knew I wanted to watch.
I didn't because I remember talking about like whenever I was like, hey, I want to watch Paranorman, like Frankenweenie and stuff. And you were like, yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I'd like to watch them with you, but you didn't want to watch Frankenweenie until you watched Frankenstein.
Paranorman and Frankenweenie. We're talking about Kubo.
I didn't know how it was gonna be. I just like it's another animated kids movie. You don't really gravitate towards that, so I was like, this is probably safe to watch. What was the last animated kids movie you watched aside from Kung Fu Panda?
I've got my diary right here. Shrek Forever After.
Aside from that. Aside from the Shreks, because you started at 3 and 4.
Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
That's not a kids movie. You know that's for
Surf's
fucking
Up.
cool guy.
Twice this year.
That's
Beat
true.
that shit.
Surf's Up, yeah. Surf's Up fucks.
Yep. Goddamn right it does.
Surf's Up is better than all the Kung Fu Pandas.
And I watched Rango, which is more like mid-go.
Oh, them's fighting words.
Yep.
To
Sorry.
weirdos on the internet.
Sorry. Got me red-handed. I don't like it. But I've seen Surf's Up twice this year, and that's my proudest accomplishment.
Yeah. But Kubo, not going to get deep into it. It's nothing like, you know what's going to happen. Like, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it is really, really good.
Didn't blow you away?
No, I really liked it, but it's not like, it's a pretty straightforward plot, kind of, I would say. But it is like all the other elements, the visuals and stuff, voice acting, it's all cranked up to 11. So it really, really slaps.
Cool. Is that all you watched?
Yeah. Kung Fu Pandas and that.
All right. And yesterday we saw Anatomy of a Fall.
Yep.
No, Sunday. Last night was the night you were at your sister's house, and I fell asleep watching Kung Fu Panda 2. So Sunday night, we watched Anatomy of a Fall, and we didn't know anything about it.
Never seen any kind of information on it. I you told me it was a detective kind of movie, and I was like, that's all I need to know.
Yeah. I knew it's called Anatomy of a Fall, and people are saying it's good, and I saw the poster with a guy laying in the snow that appears to be dead, and I was in.
Yeah.
So we showed up at the theater and that's the best way to experience a movie if you can.
Yeah.
Not seeing a trailer, you don't know the synopsis, you just show up, someone tells you a movie's good, and you go see it, and that's it.
It's especially good when it's a movie that no one really goes and watches, because we had like 4 people in our theater.
Yeah,
it was
if
dead
that.
quiet.
Our entire row was empty, and the row behind us had one person in it.
Yeah.
So we were kind of chilling, and it was like a little bit cozy in there.
Yeah.
And like I put my hoodie over my legs at one point.
We did have
we had a speaker that was crackling, but me and Carl tried to just rewire our brains to make our brains think that it's a fire, like a fireplace.
Yeah.
Like a crackling of
we
a fireplace.
brainwashed ourselves.
So then it makes it even better because it's like, oh, now we're cozy with a fireplace watching a movie.
Yeah.
So we kind of evaded that problem with the crackling speaker, because that could have been bad if you don't have those skills. Yeah,
you got to have
handle situations like that. Yeah. Movie was good. I love the performances. Yeah, especially fantastic. The lead actress. I feel like she's probably going to be nominated for lead actress because she was really fucking good. Top 5, I'll put this in my Letterboxd review. Top 5 movie houses of all time.
Do you know what your 5 are?
No.
Okay.
God, no.
Do you know what your number 1 is?
I mean, Wayne Manor, probably number 1.
Hell yeah.
But, God, I don't. What do you know of any off the top of your head? Best movie houses?
Honestly, having rewatched it recently, the house from Hereditary is fucking gorgeous.
Love that house. In the middle of the woods, you get privacy, nice hardwood floors.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
The windows are really nice.
Huge bedrooms. Like her office is a bedroom that she turned into like a big workshop.
Yeah.
A lot of wood, a lot of old stuff, and then you got that cool treehouse with decapitated people in there.
Yeah. Do you think you could live there, like, knowing what happened there? Like, with Payman?
If it was real?
Well, it was real. It was a documentary.
What's happening?
You can't go along with it?
Okay, so if it was a documentary and that happened in that house, I would never set foot on that fucking soil again.
Even though it's a sick house?
I don't give a fuck.
You couldn't just tell Payman to buzz off?
Nope. I would not dick around with that, dude.
I feel like
I won't go.
You could just pass Payman a little sticky note and be like, "Hey, pal, how about you back off,
dude? If
this is my house now."
If Ryan Gosling, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Leonardo DiCaprio invited me to a party, and they were playing with a Ouija board, I would get in my car and leave.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting possessed.
You're taking.
I'm going to hell. Like I'm doing whatever it takes to play a game with those gents.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Would not partake in.
But what? So just knowing like they filmed the movie there, that wouldn't weird you out?
No, that would kind of add to the.
When you look in the closet where the naked guy was smiling, it wouldn't bother you that your coat's there.
I'm not as scarred by the naked guy as you are.
What about the treehouse? You look outside and see the treehouse, and you don't think about all the headless people in there screaming. All
the treehouse would be the one thing that I'm like, what's going on in there? But the rest of the house, I'd be like, dude, I'm
too busy having a sick house to worry about demons.
Tony Collette was walking through these halls making miniatures and running around yelling at people.
Yeah,
like that's sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool thing to happen in your home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having trouble thinking of best movie houses.
Like every time someone would come over and I lived there, I'd be like, "Yeah, Tony Collette was in here."
That's the attic door that she banged her head on. Here's the piano wire also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anatomy of a Fall. Great house. Apparently, it takes place in France. I didn't know that France could look like this. So it looks like heaven.
Yeah,
I mean, where they were at,
yeah,
looked gorgeous. I want to go to there. That's a TikTok sound. I know you're not big on the internet, but
I'm not, but
that's,
it sounded funny.
yeah. Great house.
Yeah,
Great house. Great child performance. Great dog performance.
Oh yeah, dude. The son in Anatomy of a Fall did an excellent job. Excellent job. He kind of did a little crazy stuff, a little rascal stuff.
Dude, he was being silly at late in the movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't on my best side.
He was goofing, dude.
I know he's a kid, but like, what the fuck are you doing? All right. What the fuck are you doing?
I'd hit him. I would hit him.
Yeah. I would have to. But yeah, we keep not talking about Anatomy of a Fall.
It's really interesting. I like the way it's set up. There's a lot of information that's unknown to the cast and the people in the movie. It's also unknown to you as the viewer. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool.
Basically, typically movies have I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's called dramatic irony, when the audience knows something that the characters don't.
Yeah.
And in this movie, you don't have like any of that. Basically, you know as much as a court would know.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to gauge what you think happened based on what the characters are telling you.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of decide for yourself if they're telling the truth or if they're lying, because you don't really know. You didn't see what happened.
You know everything that off of both sides to be able to say, I think this happened or I think this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really cool. That was really interesting. It's also like there's no music in the movie. It's almost like dead silent except for the music that like
The
people
husband
will
plays.
play music.
Yeah.
But it's really quiet. There's a lot of silence and just people talking in this fucking sexy ass house, this cozy ass house.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool too. It kind of built up on some of the drama.
Mm-hmm.
And the only negative I really took away from it was I think it is a touch too long.
I agree.
And
I think maybe like 20 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Probably. I think it's an hour and a half, 2.5 hours. And I think it probably could have been like 2:10.
Yeah.
2:05.
It's not like massive where you're like, holy fuck, dude, but it is noticeable.
Yeah. It's pretty long for a movie of that kind.
Yeah.
I feel like. But yeah, the ending is sort of like not very conclusive, and I feel like that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. It continues like I wouldn't want a set in stone ending because it feeds into like
kind of ruins what the whole movie, the point of the whole movie.
Exactly. Of not knowing certain bits of information, not really you weren't there, so you don't know who these people are. Just these events happen, and you have to say, well, this probably happened or this probably happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's some things that I can't really get into without spoilers, but we talked about it in the car on the way home. There's just a lot of nuance that kind of goes against the typical detective/investigative movie, where sometimes in movies people will get a small piece of information and just make large generalizations about it, and like, oh, since this thing happened, then it must mean this happened because of that, and this happened. And it's like in real life a lot of unrelated things can just happen, and it doesn't mean there was like some domino effect.
Yeah.
Like if you have an argument with your wife and then the next day you come home and she's been murdered, it's like, if someone finds out that you had an argument the day before with your wife, that shouldn't just mean you killed her. Exactly. That's not what that means. You're allowed to have an argument with your wife and not be responsible for her death that happens the next day.
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of what we talked about. Like, two things can be true at once. Like,
yeah, and in movies, a lot of times, I feel like in a lesser than movie, someone would find out, like, someone had an argument and just be like, oh, he killed her.
Yeah.
Like, they were arguing the day before. But it's like, it's normal for husbands and wives to argue, and it doesn't mean he killed her. Like, you can't just make a generalization off something like that.
You
and
can get into a fight with someone and still be like, well, I still love them. Like,
I'm still not a crazy person. And I still didn't murder them. And I feel like Anatomy of a Fall does a good job grounding itself and not feeling Hollywoodized and feeling more like a natural, like film and the way an actual court would play out. So,
well, not an actual court,
a French court.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. This is a bit of a spoiler for Anatomy of a Fall, but they still dress up in French court in robes.
Yeah.
Not just the judge, but like just lawyers. Lawyers put on like Harry Potter robes.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
That's funny. That's funny. That's
You
a good
sound
time. That's a really good time.
Yeah. It caught me off guard when I saw everyone dressed like that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it even more because of that. So,
heck yeah. That
Joke's
handsome
on
ass
them.
lawyer dressed up in his robes.
dude, that guy was hot.
Yeah.
That fucking guy. That's crazy. That a 60-year-old man can look like that.
Absolutely nuts.
So I believe we're going to get into our Martyrs discussion now.
Yeah.
Because I think we've gotten everything out of the way. And I don't have anything really prepared. Figured we'd just ramble about it.
I think you probably have a lot more to say than me. So I don't know who would be better to go first.
I don't know if I do, but I can go first. I really, really like Martyrs.
Oh, I gotta cut you off because,
Awesome.
well, I know you told people you caught me watching the remake. to Martyrs.
I did.
And I just want to set the stage here. I don't know anything about Martyrs. I know people say it's disturbing, and that's all I know. So I go to Cash says it's on Tubi, and I go on Tubi. I type in M-A-R. I think I even did M-A-R-T.
You did Mart. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing that said Martyrs, only one thing came up. And the rest was pages of other shit. So I was like, well, this is what Martyrs is.
Yeah, see, this would be a great time for me to pile on to Carl about how stupid he is.
Yes.
And make him feel like an
Yeah.
idiot. But I put myself in his shoes, and I was like, okay, I didn't tell him what year it came out. I didn't tell him there was a remake. I didn't think that was necessary information at the time. Because I watched it on Tubi. Like I said, it's called Martyrs. It's on Tubi. Go watch it. We'll talk about it on the pod. He didn't know what year it came out. He didn't know there was a remake. And when he typed in M-A-R-T, the correct Martyrs did not come up.
Yeah.
I looked at the results. It did not come up. The only thing that came up was the remake. So if I was looking for a movie called Martyrs and I typed in M-A-R-T and I saw one that's the only thing that said Martyrs, I'd probably think that was the right thing too.
Yeah.
And then when we typed in a Y, then both of them came up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, see, if both of them came up, then I could make fun of him. Because then he could have done the context clues of like,
That
this one
been,
came out first, this
yeah.
one's the original.
That would have been a classic Carl maneuver.
Yeah.
But this was not that. I just want everyone to know.
Yeah. So it was funny, like realizing he was watching the remake. I caught him like 10 minutes in, so he didn't get too deep into it. But in his defense, it was a Tubi flaw.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have known that it was a remake, and
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
Someone was out to get me that day.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And on top of that, like,
Which sucks though, because you saw like one of the big surprises right at the beginning of the movie was spoiled for you.
yeah, but like I said, that wasn't crazy different from what happens in the actual movie. The only difference is like I watched the movie, but the remake has, for some reason, I timed it to see like how far into the movie I got, and the same events take place, but the remake somehow feels like it's dragging. Like it felt like it took longer
a lesser
to get there.
than movie.
Yeah, but I was like, surely like this will probably happen. Like this felt like it happened 25 minutes in, and it was 15 minutes in on the real movie. And I went back and looked, and they were both 15 minutes. And I was like, God bless.
I haven't seen the remake. I've heard it's atrocious.
Yeah,
I'll probably never watch it.
Like, all I knew about Martyrs going in was that it has its legacy of being a very disturbing movie. Mm-hmm. And usually movies like that don't get remade.
Why would you?
Having seen Martyrs, I would have never thought, like even now, I would have never thought in a million years someone would try and remake that.
And the guy who remade it doesn't like violence, so he made it PG-13. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt and assume he was under contract with a studio and they said, we want to remake Martyrs and you're going to do it. And he was like, well, I don't like violence and I don't like Martyrs, so if you're going to make me do it, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the only reason the movie was made. I haven't done any research on that. That's completely made up by me, but I'm assuming
It's the only
that's
way it
probably
makes
what
sense.
happened.
Yeah.
Because why would a person who doesn't like violence remake... I'm not going to say one of the most violent movies of all time, because it's not, but one of the most disturbing and dark movies ever.
Yeah.
A movie that you cannot make not rated R.
Yeah.
You cannot make Martyrs not rated R. So what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. That's nuts.
I'm gonna assume the director just got like he got strong armed into doing it.
Yeah,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But
Yeah.
don't remake Martyrs. Don't.
I
do
had
that.
no
That's
idea a
silly.
remake existed, but I did eventually. Cash saved me and pulled me out of the pit I was in and sat me down in front of a real movie.
Yeah. So I guess the best thing to do was maybe just like walk through the movie, what we remember, kind of the cliff notes, talk about things that we liked and didn't like. So the start of the movie is you see the girl like just running out of this building, like in like underwear, running down the street.
Yeah,
you have no idea what's going on.
She's tore up. She's bruised. Got blood on her. Like looks like she's got a bloody lip or a bloody nose or something. You tell she's been mistreated for sure.
Yeah.
And this leads into a sequence that I do like, which it turns into this. She escapes and goes to a facility like an orphanage,
like a girl's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like doctors or psychiatrists are looking at her, making sure she's okay. She's obviously highly traumatized from what happened to her. Mm-hmm. And it turns into this documentary that they've filmed of this like footage that they've cut together of her interacting with different people. Mm-hmm. Through that, you see her make her friend in Anna.
Yeah.
So I thought that whole intro of like setting up the two characters and also showing like how she was affected by what happened in like a documentary, like a medical documentary, was a really cool thing.
Yeah. I think that the first half of this movie is some of the most unpredictable, intense, fast-paced filmmaking I've ever seen.
Agreed. Agreed. It's
the
awesome.
film sort of feels like two halves, where the first half is just like that. I mean, it's a speeding bullet of a film, and then the second half it kind of takes a turn and slows down a lot. But like the opening shot of this movie, like some little kid running out of an abandoned building, running for their life with like marks all over them. You have no idea what's going on. It just throws you right in, makes you watch this, and you got to figure it out all later. And then the Anna finds Lucy in a bathtub with like fucking scratches all over her, like cuts and everything. And she's freaking out. She's like, don't tell anyone, like don't go get help, don't, like, just freaking out. And Anna comforts her, and you have no idea what's going on. Like you're still just trying to pick up the pieces. And then there's this great scene when Anna's asleep and Lucy is like, she's hearing noises and the door slams open, and Anna's not hearing anything. Like she's asleep and won't help her. And it's sort of like that horror movie cliche where like two kids are in a room and the other one won't wake up and one of them's seeing creepy shit. And so yeah, you have this this great sequence of like Lucy being terrified of this thing that's after her or whatever, and then she goes under the covers and like slowly moves down the covers, and you just see this fucking, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's really dark and it's hard to see what's going on. but there's this thing like right in front of her.
Yeah, it's like the silhouette of. I assume
It
you
sort
would
of looks like a
assume-
leper or something.
Yeah, you would assume it's like a woman because you can tell it has,
has
whatever it
long
has. This
hair.
long hair.
And its eyes fucking creeped me out. I watched this at night, so that probably made a difference with me and your like viewing experiences.
No, dude.
But I watched it at night
Yeah.
alone with headphones on, and those eyes fucking creeped me out.
Yeah,
I don't know what they did on set to make them look like that, but it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's one of the big differences in the remake, because in the remake, Anna isn't there. It's just her by herself. And like the thing is just a woman in zombie makeup. I'm not even fucking playing with you. It's a woman in zombie makeup, and it's
Gross.
played so much more like what you see nowadays with just fucking basic ass like
Standard
horror.
jump scares.
Yeah, it was all fucking horseshit. This was elevated for sure.
Yeah, the lighting and everything just amplified it so much. It's such an intense opening. And so right after that, you see the thing on her bed, and then it cuts to Martyrs. And I texted my friends 7 minutes in, like right when Martyrs came up, and I was like, holy fuck. Like, I said holy fuck before the opening titles came up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So then I think it says 15 years later, and you see this family, like the daughter, the son, the mom, the dad. They're all like having breakfast.
Yeah, they're
Someone
gathered
rings the
around.
doorbell, and a person shows up with a shotgun and shoots the dad immediately.
Yeah.
Another moment, I just go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like,
opens door, gets blasted like 10 feet away.
like I was saying, it's one of the most unpredictable movies I've ever seen. And that really does a lot for me in terms of my rating. Like, watching a movie where you feel like you have no idea what's going to happen is a great feeling.
Yeah.
You're like glued to the TV when you don't know what's going to happen. And she fucking blasts the guy in the chest, in the stomach immediately. I think then she goes and she kills the mom, and she aims the gun at the son, and she says,
How old are you?
"How old are you?" And then he says 17, I think. And then she says, "Do you know what your parents did?" And that's like, you don't really know what's going on, but you're starting to get an idea, and they really piece it together like as you go. They give you these little crumbs. And
Here's a question I have for you, because this is something I just thought about. Do you think he knew?
his reaction kind of seemed like he did. He had an idea. Like he had an idea that they did fucked up shit,
I think that too. Like,
but he was afraid to say.
but he was also like, at the same time, he's scared. Like, he might not have known.
Yeah.
But he seemed like, fuck, dude, this, like, she knows what's going on.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have mattered because she killed the girl too, and I doubt she knew.
Yeah.
So she was just killing everybody.
Yeah.
I wonder,
That's a cool thing to add in. Like,
why do you think, other than just shock value, why do you think Lucy needed to kill the kids? Because when you think about it in hindsight, she's killing the two people to get revenge for like what they did to her, but also because the leper lady is like haunting her and telling her to do it. And why do you think the kids needed to be killed too? Do you think that's just what the lady was telling her to do?
I don't think the lady was telling her to do anything.
Well, when she killed the family, she was like, "See, like I did it. I did it. Leave me alone."
I think that she thinks in her head that killing them will stop the leper lady from attacking her. But I don't think the leper lady ever told her to kill them. I think this
Are you
plays
talking about in real life?
No, I'm talking even in her mind.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, in her mind. Like,
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think the leper lady that she sees, I don't think ever talks to her. I think in her head she was like, this leper lady is attacking me. because I haven't gotten. I need to.
She just
avenge.
assumes that it will go away once she does it.
I think it plays further into her psychosis of her thinking that that's what she needs. But it's not actually, because the leper lady still continues to go, and we never see the leper lady talking to her or telling her to do things.
Yeah.
The leper lady just shows up and attacks her.
Yeah.
And it's this, later on in the movie you find out what the leper lady like really is.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and going back to the opening scene with the leper lady, I thought it was a cool detail when you think about it in hindsight, how the door slammed open and Anna didn't hear it. It didn't wake her up because it's not real.
Yeah.
Because she's a figment of Lucy's mind.
Yeah.
So when you're watching it the first time, you're like, that was loud as shit. How did Anna not wake up? And then in hindsight, it's like, oh, because that was all in her head.
Yeah.
Cool little stuff, things like that you'll notice thinking back on it.
But to answer your question, I don't think that there was a need to kill the kids.
I think it was probably just Lucy not wanting. She thought that killing the people would make the lady stop haunting her, and she just didn't want any chance of like not doing it right and no loose ends or anything. She just wanted to get it all over with, and she just thought that was the best thing to do, I guess.
Because there's obviously there's the realistic reason so that the kids don't try and kill her out of revenge.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's. I think it's just she's nuts.
Yeah.
She's mentally destroyed from what she's gone through, the trauma that she's suffered through, and it could have been a heat of the moment thing too. Like, I have to kill both these people, and there's 2 other people here. Just fucking kill them.
Yeah.
So try and find some semblance of peace.
Yeah. So after she kills the family, is that when she calls Anna?
Yep, she calls
Anna shows up at the house.
Yeah.
And before Anna gets there, it's just I keep forgetting it. Lucy in the house, and then the leper lady shows up. And the directing in this movie is fucking off the chain. It's so it's broad daylight in this house. It's like morning time, but the lady shows up and you can hear her you still don't know what this thing is and what it wants. You just know it's around, and you hear it rummaging around in the kitchen, and Lucy's scared shitless, and then she goes in the kitchen and it runs off somewhere else. And
yeah, I love the sound of everything, because you'll hear the whole place is hardwood floors, and you'll hear barefoot stomping run across the floors. Because you never really see the leper until towards the end of the first half of the movie. Yeah. And so you'll hear the stomping, fucking lightning speed almost, heading towards her, and she'll run away or dive away. Yeah. And then she'll start the leper will start attacking her, and they'll be rolling around on the floor. So you never really get a good look at what this thing is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, trying to remember how that sequence ends.
It starts attacking her, cuts her up real bad, and she backs into a closet to hide.
Right.
And then she has a flashback to when the beginning of the movie, before she escaped, or how she escaped this kind of industrial type abandoned building that she was in, that she was held captive in. Mm-hmm. And you see her, she's chained up to a chair with a hole in it and a bucket underneath. And she's able to get loose of her bindings because the person there tripped and broke her ankle on a pipe or something. So she runs into another room, sees another woman that's being held captive, but she's a kid, she's scared. So she just runs away. Yeah. So that's how she escapes. They go back and search the place later once she's found. Mm-hmm. Nothing's there. Yeah. There's no. They see the chair, the bucket, and the bindings, so they knew that she was being held there and being tortured, but they didn't find anybody there. Yeah.
So, fucking. gotta help me out here.
She comes back out. The leopard like attacks her one more time, and then Anna comes in, or she runs out of the house and runs into Anna, and she's like, "Anna, I found them. You know, these are the people that hurt me. Go in there and look." And Anna goes into the house, and she sees this murder sequence laid out in front of her. She sees the dad. That's shocking. And then she sees the kids, and she's like, has this oh my god moment where she's like, holy fuck, dude, this is beyond anything. Like, I thought we were going to call the cops once we identified them, and find some evidence. Like, I didn't think. And then she sees the dead little girl, and she's like in shock.
Yeah.
And Lucy comes back in after she finds the dead girl. She locks herself in the bathroom and is like trying to hide how frightened she is at how upsetting the situation is from Lucy, because I mean, at this point, Anna sees, like, she's seeing things how things is. Lucy's having a mental breakdown. Yeah. She's psychotic and killing people.
Yeah. And so they meet up outside, and Lucy's like, "Don't go in there. She's in there. Don't go in there. She's in the house." And Anna's like, "I know. I gotta go look." Yeah. And
that's when she knows sees everything.
She's not real, but she needs to see like what's in the house. And then so she sees everything. She starts kind of freaking out because it's really sad. She still doesn't know if these people did anything wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of what they play with in the first bit of the movie, is like, obviously Lucy is not well off psychologically. But you never see the people that attacked her.
Yeah, so you don't know if she's right and these are the people and she's getting revenge, or if she's just crazy and accidentally murdered an innocent family just because she thought it was the right people. So they toy with that a lot, and Anna doesn't really know either, so it's really kind of fucking her up. And they pile up all of the bodies in the bathroom, and Anna realizes that the mom is still, like, sort of alive. I'm not sure how, because she got a fucking slug to the stomach.
Her gut is open, dude.
Yeah. But
She's
the mom's still alive, and Anna's trying to, like, save her, because she still thinks that all these people are innocent. She's trying to help anyone she can, and she tries to help the mom, and then Lucy finds her, like, mid helping the mom, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And the leper lady shows up again.
Yeah, dude. So Lucy bashes the mom's fucking brains in with a hammer, which is nuts. And that's when Lucy realizes, like, or she thinks Anna doesn't believe her, that she was like, "You think I'm crazy just like everyone else. You don't think any of this is real." And then leper lady shows back up after like a fight with Anna that they had, and it's still attacking her. And that's when you hear her say, you know, "Leave me alone. I killed them. I even killed her kids like you wanted." Yeah. Like, it's over.
Also, the director, when the leper lady is fighting Lucy, the director always keeps her head out of view, which makes it even creepier. Yeah. Because you can't see her face, and you're just seeing like the gross, like, cut up body, and I just feel like that's really good filmmaking right there. Then you get another flashback of Lucy being force-fed, which is yucky.
Yeah, they force-feed this, like, green baby food. And it doesn't look very appetizing.
No, it doesn't look very good. She sees the leper lady chained up and doesn't help her and runs away because she's scared. Yeah. And then so we're, like, the audience is now putting the pieces together on, like, what's going on here.
That the leper lady is, like, the lady that she saw chained up. So it's like her guilt is attacking her. Yeah,
she feels guilty for not saving her, and now she's, like, in debt to that lady, and she has to go and do all this crazy shit.
It's like this guilt and trauma and shame that has in her head taken physical form and is attacking her, but it's actually her attacking herself.
Yep. And then I'm clicking through it right now for the listeners because I don't want to miss anything, so I'm kind of like skipping through the movie, making sure I don't miss anything. And I love this fucking scene. So in this scene, how do I describe this? Anna's fucked up, and Lucy is, in her mind, fighting with the leper lady, and the leper lady is cutting her arms open with the blade. And then it cuts between what Lucy sees and what we're seeing and like what's happening in reality, and she's cutting herself.
Yeah.
So this is like the big reveal of she's not real, it's in her head, and she thinks that this lady's hurting her, but really it's just her hurting herself. And you see in Lucy's mind, the lady's bashing her head into the wall, but in real life she's banging her own head into the wall. It's edited perfectly. It looks so fucking good. And then Lucy runs outside,
cuts her fucking head
cuts her
off
throat
almost.
open, and really sad.
Yeah.
Really sad stuff, but great practical effects.
Also, another difference from the remake to the real one, Anna loves Lucy. At least that's what you're led to believe.
That's implied. Yeah,
it's implied that she loves her. And in the remake, they're just like friends. So the extent of what Anna's willing to do for Lucy, I don't know, their relationship's a whole lot more interesting in the real one versus the remake. Mm-hmm. Like, in the extent that she's willing, how far she's willing to go for Lucy, it makes more sense that she loves her versus just being like a pal.
I'm clicking through this. Do you remember why she goes in this little hole?
Yeah, so she calls, so after Lucy kills herself, Anna like wraps the body up. I think at this point she thinks like, I'm gonna get arrested. People are gonna think I killed all these people. So she calls her mom, and when she's on the phone with her mom, she hears like a thud.
Oh, she heard a noise?
Yeah, like there's the hammer that Lucy used to bash that chick's brains in, like falls through through a wall almost. And she realizes that there's like a false back behind this dresser. And she opens up the dresser, and there's like a little door enough to crawl through into a big, huge secret room. Mm-hmm. That also leads to another secret room, which is like a dungeon.
Big laboratory.
Yeah, the initial room, you go down these stairs, there's a lab, and then there's a dungeon below that lab.
Yeah. That
she goes down, and this is when you start realizing, fuck, Lucy was right the whole time. These are the people.
These are the people, yeah. And you get this great scene. So when she first gets down here in the like laboratory cave system thing, you see these 4 pictures up on the wall. They're like lit up like movie posters almost, with like lights in the background, and they're big pictures of like people that look like they're dead sort of, but their eyes are open, and it's really creepy and unsettling, and you don't really know what it is. And it comes back into play like later in the movie, which I think makes the ending even more unsettling and creepy when that happens. But she finds this little hatch door, goes down the hatch door.
Yeah, that's what leads to like the full-blown dungeon.
Yeah, ladder slides down.
Yeah, you see the same, she walks in, she sees the same setup as what happened to Lucy. There's a chair with a hole in the bottom, a bucket underneath, chains.
She finds this lady with this like helmet on, which goes over her eyes, and it's screwed into the top of her head.
Yeah.
And she's like really scared. She's chained up.
She's cut up to pieces.
Cut up
She's
really
got a bunch
bad.
of scars.
Yeah.
You can tell she's been down there for a long time. So.
Yeah. Anna helps her. She unchains her, brings her upstairs. She takes the shit out of her head. She starts taking out the little screws in her head, and it is gross.
Yeah.
It is really hard to watch, but the practical effects look amazing.
Yeah.
They really look amazing. And yeah, she gets a little like screwdriver and takes it. Oh god.
Yeah, it's like stapled into her fucking skull.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part's crazy. So she's trying her best to help out this lady. Obviously, it's beyond what she's capable of, but she puts her in a tub and was like, just relax for a while,
Yeah.
get clean. And she goes next to Lucy where she put her body and was like, just upset like about the whole situation. She falls asleep and she wakes up and the lady that's chained up is fucking losing her mind.
Yeah. She's trying to like, she found a knife. The leper lady found, not leper lady, that's
The chained
the
up
figment
lady.
woman, like this chained up woman with the shit in her head. She has this knife and she's trying to like cut off her hand or cut open her arm or whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
And then she runs out into the hallway and starts like rubbing her head on the wall, and you have no fucking clue what she's doing. They explain it later and they say that what she had she thought that she had bees on her or bugs.
So, like after they talk, like once they get to a certain point of
martyrdom
trauma, they'll after being tortured for a certain period of time, they'll eventually start to see things. And like Lucy saw the leper lady, and this lady saw cockroaches all over her.
Yeah.
She saw cockroaches everywhere, so she
Yeah.
would rather cut off her arm than feel like cockroaches on her. There's nothing there,
Yeah.
but that's what she sees, and that's what she perceives to be real.
Yeah. Which is really sad and really unsettling to think about.
Yeah.
Like if that was you.
Yeah.
And not only do you get tortured, which is no fun, but you have this like thing that is haunting you basically that isn't there,
Yeah.
but you think that it is, and it's really sad. So then Anna's trying to help her, and then all of a sudden the lady gets fucking dome pieced.
Yeah. She
out
gets
of
her
nowhere.
fucking brains blown out. She gets sniped.
Out of fucking nowhere, she gets her she gets a fucking headshot. And another instance of this movie just being utterly unpredictable.
Yeah, another
you have
massive
no idea what's
reveal.
going on. You have no idea what's happening. Every like 5 minutes something crazy happens that completely changes everything. So the lady gets shot in the head and it's just Anna there, and then all these people start funneling in wearing like black, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? At first you're kind of like happy and you're like, oh,
Cops
this is the
showed up.
police or this is the FBI, like they may think that I did it, but like at least I'm safe.
Yeah. You're not
And-
gonna get fucking killed.
Yeah. So they start like cleaning up the bodies, and they just take Anna down there and chain her up.
Well, before they chain her up, they take her down to like the lab area, and they handcuff her to a table, and they bring in this little old lady with this like head wrap on.
Mademoiselle.
Is what they call her. Mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle. Is that how you say it?
Mademoiselle, yeah.
Mademoiselle.
I mean, that's probably. I'm American.
Yeah.
So,
I don't speak Italian.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not saying it right, but how I would say it is Mademoiselle.
Yeah.
But she comes in, and that's when you get the reveal of the motive, why they're kidnapping these girls. Like, you get the reveal that there's now everyone there is in on what's going on.
Yeah.
So there's a community that's doing this.
Which is super fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad enough thinking that this is just this one fucked up family that's doing this shit. Then you find out that there's this entire organization of people that do this.
Yeah.
And that this family, I can't remember the family's name that gets killed, but they may be just one of the families that do this. Like, there could be, this lady could have dozens of households that do this shit. We don't even know that.
I mean, you get an idea. Because that guy gives a speech at the end. And I think they said they've been doing this for like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, at least 15, because 15 years later.
yeah, I don't remember exactly what number he said, but they've been doing this for a number of years, and they said they've had several candidates come close.
Yeah.
But she reveals basically the motivation of everything. And this is kind of where I fall out of the movie a little bit.
It's
everything-
definitely the turning point.
Yeah. At this point, the movie transforms into a very different feeling movie. It slows down a bit, and there's still stuff going on, and you see a lot of, bad stuff, but at this point there's a lot of mystery like that leads up to this point, and there's a lot of crazy reveals that they do. I think this wasn't very, I don't know, didn't seem super like interesting to me. I get what they were doing, but I was like, okay, that seems kind of weird, but whatever. And then the second half of the movie is when I kind of am off board with the movie. So I love the first half, and the second half I would say I flat out don't like.
Oh. That sucks.
Yeah, that's where I think me and you, like, this is the separating point between me and you.
Yeah. I mean, we agree on a lot, though. Like, the first half is definitely the half I prefer in terms of just, like, filmmaking. I think it's really fast-paced. It's really entertaining. It keeps you on your toes. You have no idea what's going on. And then this point is the turning point where Anna gets captured, and then you have to see Anna go through the shit that the other people had already went through earlier in the movie, like the leper lady and the chained up lady.
Yeah.
And
the reason why they're doing this too, they're trying to get someone to reach martyrdom, which to them is like a state of like euphoria almost. It's like if you get their ideology is that if you torture someone for long enough and you bring them, like, you break their spirit and they let go of reality, then they can kind of peer
Transcend.
into transcend and see what lies in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Which, it's kind of like, why don't you just kill someone and bring them back to life?
Ooh.
It's kind of like Flatliners. I don't know if you've seen Flatliners, but people try to kill themselves and then bring themselves back to life to see what it's like to die. But it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems crazy.
I mean, it is a little bit. Like, you have to kind of give it a little leeway, because we're kind of working with, like, science fiction here.
Yeah, it's like, kind of, it sounds weird to say that seems like much in this movie, but it seems, I don't know, to me it seems a bit like a reach, like that ideology. But
I don't know, it
setting that aside, that's what they're trying to do. They want someone to achieve martyrdom. That's what all those pictures represent. She said all their eyes are looking up, so that means that they've all reached martyrdom, which they don't know. They're just assuming that.
Yeah.
Because all their eyes are looking the same direction.
Yeah.
Which is another one of the things, like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
They've all had their asses beat for fucking months, so I don't know where my fucking eyes would be looking, dude.
Mm-hmm. So Anna's chained up. They start force feeding her the goop from earlier in the movie. And you get a decent bit of that, just guys beating the shit out of her.
Yeah, for a while, it's like every other scene is either force feeding the goop, this big guy knocking the shit out of her. There's
cut her hair.
Yeah, there's also a scene, dude, that, like, this one stands out to me, and you might not have thought about it, but at one point he's down there beating the fuck out of her, and she passes out, and he stands her back up on the wall, and she starts to fall over, and he punches her on the way down.
Yeah.
I was like, that was fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah. So you just see a lot of, it's hard to watch a lot of this shit.
It's just, I think there's 9 scenes, and there's 3 or 4 of her getting the shit beat out of her, 3 of her getting force fed, and then there's a couple more scenes faded in of her basically losing her sanity, being trapped down there alone.
Yeah, so she starts to give up and like do what they want, which is like give up and what am I trying to say? Break her spirit, break her soul, and she stops caring about anything.
Yeah.
So they put her in this big like gyrosphere thing where she's chained up, and they're gonna do some type of surgery on her. You have no idea what they're gonna do. They flip her over, and then you hear like a drill start buzzing.
Yeah.
And it cuts, and you've got no idea what they're doing. You just know something bad. They're not going to do something good to Anna. And
they wheel her into
this right here
Yeah.
is when my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that figuratively. I'm saying I was watching this movie with my mouth closed, and then this scene happened, and my mouth opened, and my jaw was hanging for like 2 minutes straight. Yeah. I could not believe what I was looking at.
Yeah.
And it's when the doctor hangs up Anna's hand, and she's fucking skinned.
Yeah. This whole thing plays out, great reveal, because it cuts whenever he starts this like surgery, and then the next shot is him wheeling her into this other room with another one of those gyroscope things, or I guess it's just a bar with like shackles, but she's covered in sheet. It's like covered in blood.
Yeah. They
wheel her in, and then it cuts to like the guy's face, and he's getting like these shackles ready, and then you just see him put her hand in one of the shackles, and her hand is fucking skinned down to the elbow, and then it cuts away, and you see the sheet open, and she's skinned alive.
Yeah. And
this sounds weird because she's skinned alive, but it looks great. The effects of her being skinned alive,
amazing practical effects.
I mean, I don't want to know what it looks like if someone's skinned alive, but it's got to be a lot like that.
Yeah. And then the director does something interesting, like afterwards, after the skinning scene, they follow the surgeon, like go up and take a shower, and like put his clothes back on, and I feel like that was kind of the idea, was showing how normal this is to them and how often they do it and how unfazed by it they are. Like how people just clock in and out of work, and he just goes and skins a person and then goes upstairs and showers and heads home.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, because this is all like the surgeon is the same guy that goes down and beats the fuck out of her like every day for like a month.
Yeah.
So the only time you see him is beating the fuck out of her and then skinning her. And then he comes upstairs, like takes a shower, gets dressed. They talk. She's like, how's she doing? And he's like, oh, she's hanging in there, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah. So then this lady calls
Mademoiselle.
She says she's completely let go. Look at her eyes.
Yeah,
she doesn't see anything around her, and that shot fucking sticks with me, of her looking up, the camera zooming in, and then you get this fucking baller ass transition when they zoom in on her eye, and it transitions into this like visualization of the afterlife. It's like this
yeah, it does this ultra zoom, and then there's these lights and stuff.
It's like cloudy, and it's like a visualization of her like transcending, and all these people start showing up at
Yeah.
at the house, and she goes and Mademoiselle. She how about give her a normal fucking name? How about that? How about call her Mary?
You can just call her ma'am. I mean, that's the American version of Mademoiselle or Miss.
I'm not going to call her ma'am. She doesn't deserve it. So she goes up and finds Anna, and Anna whispers something to her, and we can't hear what she says.
Yeah.
And this creates a big talking point for viewers of the film. And we don't hear what she says. She goes up and tells everybody that...
Dude, back it up a little bit. Right here. Mademoiselle looks like...
Paul Giamatti.
No. She looks like the boss from The Incredibles.
Oh, yeah.
Bob's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks just like that guy.
You're fired. So all these people start showing up at the house, and Mademoiselle...
This guy gives a speech. It's part like... There's like 30 people in the house, and this guy gets up and it's like, you know, that Anna has been like in our... Like, we've had her for a while. She's successfully reached martyrdom. You know, her transcendence lasted for this amount of time.
She's the first person to report back to us what she's seen.
Yeah. They said they've had like 4 others get there, and she's the first person to report back on what she saw.
Which also, I said earlier, when Anna first goes down into that laboratory, you see the 4 pictures of the people, and you don't know who they are, what it means. And those are the 4 people that reached martyrdom, and Anna becomes the 5th. And that whole concept just really unsettles me.
I don't know if those are like their 4 people, because she goes through that book showing the eyes, and it's people like throughout history. So I think they've also had 4 people of their own reach it.
Oh no, I think it's the same 4 people. I think the book is their people. That's...
No, dude. One of the guys was in like 1922.
Yeah, this is an organization. It doesn't mean that she created it.
One of them just had a rare disease, though. When she's going through and talking about it. I mean, unless you want to view it as like this is like the Illuminati and they've existed throughout. Like,
that's what I'm saying is they could have existed for a long time before Mademoiselle fucking became a part of it.
I guess I never perceived it like that.
I don't think it's a coincidence that they say they have 4 people have done it before, and then you see the pictures of the 4 people. I don't think that's just a random thing.
No, like her pamphlet has different people than the 4 on the wall. 'Cause she has her own little pictures that she shows Anna. I don't know if you remember that, but she's like, this person this person this.
Yeah, it was the same people.
No, different people.
No, same people.
No, because one of the guys is a tiny starved guy, and that guy never shows up in her handbook.
Yeah, he did.
No.
We'll rewind it at the end.
We'll go back and
at
take a look, but I think it's... I mean, but if so, that's another pretty cool layer, is that these people have been doing it since like the fucking 1800s.
Yeah.
I don't remember what years she gives like a year and like the full bio of what these people have going on in her handbook.
This guy says Anna clearly saw what lays beyond death. She experienced authentic martyrdom, and she is still alive, but she stopped communicating. And the guy, what's the fuck this guy's name? The old guy. He's like talking to Etienne, that's his name. He's talking to her through the door, and she's about to come out and like talk to everybody and relay what Anna told her. And they have this conversation, and here we go. Can you imagine what there is after death?
This is what Mademoiselle asks.
Yeah. She asks him that, and then sorry, we're watching it now.
He says, no, I can't imagine it. And so he goes to get her to like tell them what she heard, She's in the bathroom, like, taking off her makeup. Mm-hmm. And he's like, is it pretty exact? Like, there's no room for interpretation. She's like, no, she saw exactly what she saw. She was very accurate.
Clear.
Yeah.
Clear and concise.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, exciting. And then she was like, can you imagine what there is after death? And he says, no. And she says, keep doubting, and pulls a gun out of her purse and blows her fucking head off.
Yep. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Wait, no, doesn't it zoom in on Anna?
Oh, yeah. The definition of martyr comes up, which I think martyr has a bunch of different definitions. And then it shows Anna, zooms in on Anna, on her face again, on her eyes.
Yeah. The translation, when it says martyr at the end, just says witness.
Yeah, it's what language is it? French? Is it French?
Yeah. So yeah, I think the last shot is the slow zoom in on Anna being like, having been skinned, and her like looking up, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, we wanted to rewind it and see if it was the same people in the book.
Well, while we do that, how do you interpret the ending?
So that's what I was going to say.
That's going to be a big question. Like, what do you think?
I feel like the ending of this movie is really interesting, and I went on Reddit to see if there were any interesting theories about the ending, and there really isn't. I think, like, there's one that I found interesting, but there's some things that kind of makes it not seem like it would be the case.
Is it the like she said there's nothing theory?
No, so like the basic answer or the basic theory would be like she either told her there's nothing
or there's
something. That's like the two basic answers that Anna could have given her. But the thing you have to ask yourself is like, what answer would make Mademoiselle kill herself? Because if she said like there's an afterlife and you're going to hell, do you think she would kill herself?
No.
Exactly. She probably wouldn't. Or if she said
but if she said
there's no afterlife, then you're not rushing to anything. Why would you want to kill yourself if this is all you have?
Well, I think if there is no afterlife, if she says there's no afterlife, everything you've been doing, all these horrible things you've been doing, was for nothing, and none of this means anything. I could see that that could drive someone to kill themselves.
Yeah,
but I don't think she said that there's nothing, or like you're going to.
I just feel like both of those are too, I guess, just like too simple. And
that guy right there was never on the wall.
Let me see. Let me start from the beginning. That lady is.
That person is. Yes.
Here we go. Here's the book. We'll get back to that discussion.
That person's on the wall. Actually, is that person on the wall?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that person tried to steal a hen, and they like publicly tortured him.
Yeah.
1945.
Yeah, slept with a kraut.
Yeah, during the Nazi regime. That guy's on there for sure. There's a shrunken, starving man that looks Indian that I don't think appears in the book.
That girl's not on the wall.
That girl's not on the wall.
Terminal stages of cancer. Beaten
That's
by
not
her
on
husband.
the wall.
Okay, so that
guy's on the wall.
So it's like a mix.
Yeah.
There's like some people on the wall that are in the book, some people that aren't.
I think that what she has is historic people that they have found that fit that hit that point. And I think they started that organization based on these people and this theory. and they've tried to perform it themselves.
Yeah.
That's how I perceived it.
That's probably true. That's probably right. Because they showed more in the book than like 4 people, including what's on the wall. So you're probably right. But going back to the ending, I don't really have like an opinion on what I think happened. But there was a theory I read on Reddit that I thought was interesting, and they said that like this person's personal theory was that Anna said that she saw what was there or what wasn't there, but she told Mademoiselle that she wasn't going to tell her, and that was her like revenge or punishment for what she did to her.
You know what was something crazy? One of the things I was going to say was like it would be a lot cooler if she got there and said "fuck you."
Yeah. And like that, I feel like would maybe make me want to kill myself. Like knowing I got someone there and then they wouldn't tell me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm not that person. I'm not a fucked up human being, but
I kind of perceive
I feel like that's just a really interesting but I feel like Anna, when she got to that point, like she didn't have any feelings anymore. She didn't have any like hate, or like she didn't have a need for revenge or anything. That's the thing. It seemed like she had given up as a soul, and like she was just a shell of a person. And I don't think she would have said that. But also, Mademoiselle tells Etienne that Anna said she saw what she saw and it was clear and concise.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really match with this theory. Like, I don't feel like she would have said that unless she just wanted everyone to think that. And then
I don't know. I think I perceived it as she told her that there was an afterlife and that it's the shit. And Mademoiselle fucking blew her head off to get there. Because, and then the only reason why I think that is because she says, keep doubting it. Like, keep doubting to Etienne.
That's a really interesting thing to say.
Yeah, to say keep doubting. And then, like, yeah, keep not believing. I'm going to go party. And then she.
So you think that there is, like, you think Anna told her that there is an afterlife?
I think so. Unfortunately, I think Mademoiselle got what she wanted. I think that's how the movie ends, is she wins. And but then again, that theory that I think is solely based on her saying keep doubting before she kills herself.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really intentional thing to say.
I don't know why she would have killed herself before telling everybody.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because these people, like, these are common, like-minded people. Like, they work together on this, and they have this common goal of finding out what's in the afterlife. So why wouldn't she want to go tell them?
She's a bitch.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, I love when movies have an open-ended ending where people have different theories and you're not sure exactly what happened, and it lets you think about it, like, on your own, and it doesn't just tell you what happened. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, and like I think they'd like keep doubting is a purposeful push one way, and I think her killing herself is a purposeful push another way. Her saying it's clear and concise is a push one way.
Yeah,
like there's different elements you can latch on to fuel the fire of either side.
Yeah.
You know, because it's either she didn't tell her, or she told her there was nothing, or she told her there was something. I'd never heard anyone say she didn't tell her, like, purposefully until you mentioned that. That is a cool thing. But
yeah, I just don't. It is a cool idea, but I just don't think it really makes sense.
Yeah, it also collapses on like the whole belief of once you get to that point, you've let go of everything.
Yeah,
So if she got to
wouldn't
that
have any
point,
hate left.
she wouldn't be like, "Nah, go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
If we're believing what she's saying, like technically nothing that Mademoiselle is saying is based in any
Or
kind of...
what if she lied to her? What if, like, there
Now
is an
that's-
afterlife, but she lied to her and said, "There's nothing. You've been wasting your time. Go fucking kill yourself, you dumb bitch." And then she did it.
Yeah.
Like, that goes back to the whole, like, Anna's given up and it wouldn't make sense for her to have any hatred or anything like that. But
I mean, depending on what you believe, like, Anna didn't really do anything wrong. What she saw could be very different than what Mademoiselle winds up seeing, having been an evil person and killed herself.
you know, she could have said, "I saw heaven because I'm going to heaven,"
Yeah.
but
And
you're
Mademoiselle's
fucking
going
not.
to hell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so fucking, like, gross about this movie is that, like, what happens to Anna, and she's just a good person. Like, she does nothing wrong the whole movie.
Yeah.
She's just trying to help people. She's only in this situation because she's trying to help her friend who's been traumatized as a kid. And even these people that Lucy is saying are bad and that tortured her, she's still trying to help the mom because she doesn't know for sure. And
Yeah.
she's just in the wrong place at the wrong time and ends up getting skinned.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
You can't kill someone
And take their
take their
skin. Yeah. And that's, like, Martyrs. I guess we can just start giving, like, general movie thoughts,
Yeah.
since we kind of went beat by beat through it. It doesn't give a fuck about anything. All those, like, rules that Hollywood has, like, don't kill kids and don't kill your main character and blah blah blah. It doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's breaking every rule there is. It's nasty as shit. It's dark. Like, it's not hopeful at all. Like, it has no ounce of hope in it. Like, at least that's kind of how I feel when I'm watching it. And apparently the director was in a, like, he was going through tough times when he made it. And, like, you can tell the guy who made this didn't have, like, it wasn't all peaches and cream.
Yeah, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows in his afternoons.
Yeah, it's a really dark movie, and
I don't think he was getting a good night's rest.
yeah. So forgive me for not going home to a good night's rest. How could he not know? Yeah, so I don't want me liking Martyrs a lot to give me, like, a reputation that I love really fucked up movies, because me and Carl were talking about this, and like, there's a lot of movies that are just shock value and just gross, and that's it, and that's, like, the whole point of the movie is just being gross. And a good example is the Human Centipede movies. They're just gross shit for 3 movies straight of just oh, wouldn't this be gross if we made a movie about this?
Yeah.
And that's it. Martyrs is a real movie with real characters and storytelling, and it just happens to have some really dark and fucked up shit in it.
Yeah.
But it's not just shock value and gross shit. Like, that's not like Hostel and, you know, I want to say the Poughkeepsie tapes, even though we didn't finish it. That's kind of like just no story, no characters, just fucked up.
I didn't see
found
it going
footage.
anywhere else. It's just a bunch of fucked up shit happening.
Yeah. So typically I don't really like movies like that are just gross, you know,
They're just
shock
fucking
value. Oh, look at
Yeah.
all these guys eating poop.
Yeah.
It's,
And that's the thing, like, we talked about, like, it wanted to disturb you, but I just don't give a fuck.
what,
like,
Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those movies, they want to disturb you. They want to be gross. They want to shock you. And they do that. It's gross. I don't want to see someone eat poop.
Yeah.
But I also, like, just go fuck yourself, dude.
The reason this movie disturbs you is because of all the setup.
Yeah.
Because it's a real movie made by a talented artist. And it's hard watching the second half. If this movie just started with Anna being tortured, like that was the beginning of the movie, was just Anna being tortured for a whole movie, no one would give a fuck and it wouldn't disturb anyone. It just wouldn't.
Dude, that's the thing. Like,
but it disturbs us because we watched the first half and we know who she is and we see her actions and how much she cares about Lucy and how she tried to help the older woman and all this foreshadowing and all this setup. And then that happens. So then we're invested in Anna as a character and it's hard to watch. And that's what makes it disturbing. And that's like what makes Martyrs so great to me is there is fucked up shit and there is stuff that's hard to watch, but it feels earned and it's very skillfully made and it isn't just shock value and disturbing visuals and imagery. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And I feel like the ending is supposed to get people talking.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Anytime a movie has an ending like that they're intentionally trying to, I mean, I would assume intentionally trying to develop a conversation is great. Like, it's always a good thing to put into a movie. For me, I love the first half. Even just like recollecting it with you, I'm like, man, this is like crazy shit's going on. And then I just get lost in the second half. I think the reveal of it being an organization that's torturing women is cool. The scale is larger than what you would think. I think that their goal is a little weird. And I think that the amount of like repetitive torture that goes on is just like a little much. I don't think it had to be like 9 scenes of the same 3 things happening.
I think it was about like 15 minutes of Anna being tortured.
Yeah.
Well, tortured is like, some of it's just torture, like her getting the shit beat out of her, and then some of it's like force feeding her, which is uncomfortable to watch, but it's not like
you get what I'm
actual
saying.
Torture.
Though, like,
yeah,
some of that could have probably been cut out, and maybe I would have liked it.
But the movie's
more.
so short. Like, it says it's an hour 39, but I think it's more like an hour 26. Because when I played it, I want to say it stopped at an hour 26. I don't know.
I don't remember, but yeah, I don't know how you would like pad down the runtime more. But I don't know that like the second half, like when I saw that guy come down and like start punching her again, I was like, okay, he's punching her again. The girl would come down, she's feeding her again, and the guy would come down, he's punching her again.
But I feel like those scenes are really important, showing like how long she tried hanging on and fighting, and then like how long it took her to eventually give in. I feel like that's important in the story, and I don't think you could just skip over it or montage over it. I feel like it needs to be there, because that makes it more sad to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about the second half doesn't connect with me as well as the first half. And it's a significant disconnect. Like, it could just be me not really interested in their overall goal of chaining a person up for X amount of time and feeding them green soup and kicking the shit out of them to see what it's like in the afterlife. Mademoiselle isn't young. Like, all she has to do is wait another 2 years and she'll probably figure it out. Like, everyone there is old. That could be another thing that maybe that's something I'm not reading into, but they're all fucking old. Like, within 5 years, you'll be fucking living it, pal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the first half was so chaotic and there was so much energy and like quickness that the reveal and the slowdown winds up being like a tough pill to swallow for me, because it does slow down in the second half because she gets captured. There's nothing to really feed into anymore. The first half has like the paranoia of Lucy. Is she crazy? Is she not crazy? The leper lady that is a figment of her imagination. Anna's trying to keep her head on straight, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And then the reveal to me of them, like, we're torturing people to figure out what it's like when you die. Or to figure out if there's an afterlife. Just seems, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it fits for me.
It really doesn't bother me. Like, I don't think it would be. I don't think it's possible in real life, in my opinion. But I don't that doesn't matter. It's a movie, and I think it's not like it's not something I hear and I'm like, oh, that's fucking stupid. I don't that doesn't make any sense. Like, in the movie world, it seems like something in the realm of possibility, and it doesn't. Bother me.
Maybe if she had something more than just like they all are looking up after being tortured. That just seems like a wild thing to latch on to be like, well, they're seeing the other side.
Yeah, they are kind of just like assuming. Because they said Anna's the only person that's relayed what she saw. So that means the other people didn't.
Yeah.
So they didn't say, yeah, I saw the afterlife. They're just assuming that they did because they're looking up.
And like, how long were you going to do that? Like, if Anna didn't work, how long were you going to keep this going?
Because the clock's ticking.
Yeah. Before you're like, I know that all these people were looking up, but I think they're just in a lot of pain. I think they're just hurting bad.
I think we just beat the shit out of them a little too bad.
I don't think this is, like, after my 9th person, I'd be like, I don't think this is working, dude.
Guys, we might need to call a audible on this.
Yeah. I don't know. If you can get on board with what they're doing, then it's, I could see it being a lot better for other people, but
yeah. Honestly, though, I can understand the whole disconnect with the first half and second half.
Yeah,
I can understand how someone can watch the first half and think it's great, and then be really disappointed by the second half.
Yeah,
but for me, I just find it. You're not gonna have a good time watching the second half, but that's the point, and I feel like it's really effective. You can appreciate something for, like, a bad movie isn't going to disturb me. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Like, a poorly made movie with shitty characters is never going to disturb me. I don't care what kind of imagery you put on the screen. But when you get me invested in a character over 50 minutes and then I have to watch that character go through some, like, mind-blowing trauma and torture, like, that's rough, and it's well done and it's well made, and that's why it still sticks with me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think a day's went by since I watched Martyrs that I haven't thought about it.
Oh man,
at some point in the day.
That's freaking awesome.
And that's something that a lot of movies can't do. So even though I watch it and I don't, you're not gonna come home on a Friday night after work and be like, oh boy, can't wait to watch Martyrs, my favorite comfort movie. Like, if you enjoy watching it, you're a pretty sick fuck. You shouldn't enjoy seeing the second half of Martyrs. But when you're watching something that's designed to disturb you and it disturbs you, it's doing its job and it's a good movie.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it. I gave it a 4.5, and I think it's really fucking good. And I think if there's someone who is okay with graphic movies and really dark themed, grim films, like, I would definitely recommend it to them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're ever gonna watch another movie like Martyrs once you've seen it.
Yeah. I landed on a 3 with it, but I also am taking rewatchability. into account. And I'm never going to rewatch Martyrs. Not that it's bad. Again, I think the first half is great. I think the ending's interesting. There's just that second half that I don't really like. So it's not like it's not a terrible movie at all. Taking rewatchability into account, like the movie itself, it's probably like a 3.5. And I took off like the half star because of it's not super rewatchable for me. But that's just my disconnect with the second half narratively, and then just like it does feel kind of repetitive until you get to the skinning. But other than that, like I still think like the first half of the movie was such fucking shot out of the cannon start.
Yeah.
And shit's getting fucking thrown at you, and you're trying your best to keep up.
Yeah. Really, really impressive filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like just small little details, like I said, about when the leper lady's attacking people and they keep her head out of the frame and you're just seeing like her body. It makes it even more creepy. The lighting in the opening scene.
Dude, there's so much
like, of the like foreshadowing and leaving little breadcrumbs and letting you figure it out as you go, not revealing too much all at one time. Like it's...
Yeah. There's a lot in the movie that a lesser than filmmaker, like her being skinned alive, that reveal, I could see another person trying to do that and it coming across like goofy.
You know what a normal like bland director probably would have done is they probably would have had her hanging up like behind curtains, and then the curtains would have opened, and then it would have played like a big like loud like droning score like
yeah.
Bong.
I would have probably laughed at that.
Yeah,
because she's skinned but just her face is on.
Yeah.
And out of context, it kind of looks a little weird.
Looks a little goofy.
Yeah. So I could see someone that maybe didn't get as good of effects, or as good of a fucking like reveal, or an actress. Mm-hmm. Like her face makes like you're like, this is haunting.
And I think the way they revealed it like adds to what I was kind of saying with how they show the surgeon taking a shower afterwards and going home. The way they reveal it really makes it feel like just another day, like in the lives of these people.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like it's not some big reveal. It's just like, this is what happens here. This is what they do.
Yeah.
It's
even weirder because like
clipping her up, like it's
like he goes up there to leave, and there's a lady up there like blending together the green paste that they feed her, and she is like, "Oh, hey, Mikhail."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Fuck, dude, this guy has a name."
Yeah.
Is like heading out, drives a car.
Yep. Probably has a family at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, I did not think it would be. I genuinely thought that it was going to be like something like along the lines of Human Centipede, where it's on everyone's disturbing movie list.
It's never a good
there's
sign.
Never
when
any
it's
substance.
Like, yeah, it's never. Most of those movies on like most disturbing movies of all time, it's normally just shock value, torture porn, no substance, no writing, no characters. It's just filler bullshit. So I was pleasantly surprised with Martyrs and the amount of like storytelling and actual substance that it had.
I'm glad you told me to watch it.
Good.
I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad you told me to watch it.
Cool.
But I don't think that I would ever jump in again, unless someone was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch Martyrs for the first time. Watch it with me." Then I'd watch it with them.
That's probably the only reason I'd watch it again too, is if I'm showing it to somebody.
Yeah, I'd like to see what they think afterwards. So.
But I don't know who in my life I would meet that.
That's the thing. That also depends on me recommending Martyrs to someone that never would.
Yeah, unless they really were pressing me for like, dude, give me some fucked up shit.
Unless I met a guy in a dark alley.
Yeah, I
was like, hey man, you want to see some shit?
Met a guy named Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is right up your alley, pal.
Yeah. I probably won't watch it again either, just because the second half makes me sad.
Yeah.
So I probably won't want to, but yeah, I think that's the gist
Yeah.
of our opinions on Martyrs.
Heck yeah. I'm glad that we arrived at different points on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I initially had a 3.5. Like right after I watched it that night, I gave it a 3.5, and then like 2 days went by, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like I'm still thinking about it, and it's still bothering me.
It's
So
interesting though that we started at the same point, and then we both I hopped off the train, and you fucking kept on going.
Yeah, it stuck with me. I think there's a lot of imagery that just rattles my cage, I guess. I don't know.
Really gets you going, huh?
Yeah. Well, no.
Dahmer over here.
No. Rattles my cage isn't like the same thing as.
I know. I'm playing into you liking Martyrs and being a psycho.
Well, don't. I don't want that. I don't want that reputation. I don't like.
I know.
I like happy things. I like watching The Nice Guys. That's what I like doing.
Yeah.
And Game Night.
One of your favorite movies ever is Game Night. So.
Imagine my 2 favorite movies of all time were Game Night and Martyrs.
I told people at work, I was like, yeah, I watched all the Kung Fu Pandas, and then I watched Martyrs. What a fucking time.
Yeah, my diary on Letterboxd is going crazy right now. It was like Martyrs, Kung Fu Panda, Anatomy of a Fall, V for Vendetta, just all over the place.
Yeah, making all the stops.
But the connective tissue is they're all great.
Yeah.
In their own way.
Yeah.
Martyrs, Kung Fu Panda, same thing.
Yeah. They're all equal in God's eyes.
Yeah. They're all quality cinema, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. 100+ years of
fine cinema.
Of rich cinema.
Yeah. Mike Flanagan just made a letterbox the other day, and he listed Martyrs as one of his likes. Like he likes it a lot.
Like just to like, or did he like rate
He
it?
liked it. Like on Letterboxd, you can just like movies because directors that have Letterboxd don't like rating them because it's like,
of course.
You don't want to give someone else like your friend's movie a 3.
Yeah, you don't
so
want
you
to be a dickhead.
you just say watched or you hit like, and he likes Martyrs. So he's a Chad.
We all knew what the Flame Man was packing.
Yeah.
Old Mike Flan. M. Flan.
The Flanster. But yeah, I think that's all we got. So hopefully next week we'll be talking about The Killer.
Oh my god, dude, I'm so excited.
That's the plan. Hopefully we can make that come to fruition.
Might get me a Royale with cheese.
Oh, plan is coming to fruition. I open wide and put the tip in. So.
All right.
All right. See y'all next week.